Good evening. It's Sunday, July 24th. I'm about to do some glazing, and it occurs to me that some people just starting off may be struggling with a transition in their own glazing. And by that I mean, when you start off, often you're only glazing one or two pieces because that's all you got made, and you're in a shared studio or you're in a class context or something like that. And then and then your productivity goes up and you're making more pots and you're having to glaze more pots theoretically at the same time. And what you'll find, maybe you've already found it, is that it takes organization. So for me, typically, I'm trying to either glaze 30 or 40 pots in the context of the art center, or glaze 30 or 40 pots. That's a full kiln load in my smaller kiln at home. So you've got the candidate pots. You've got it, hopefully not too many of them are extra, because it just takes up space to have fully glazed pots waiting for the next cycle. So I like to try to keep it as efficient as possible. So you lay out your pots and you work out, hopefully you've got the space for it, groupings. And the easiest groupings, and the ones you want to do first, are the ones that are just going to be all over one glaze, dip it with the tongs, so forth. That's pretty much what I did at the art center today. I was trying to move quickly, so I was just deciding which of the glazes I was going to use. I brought my Bell Cushing black, but I used their Pete's red, I used their chino, I used their turquoise, I used their amber celadon. But I'm organizing them by group based on more or less interviewing each pot. And I mentioned the other day this issue of the glazes that hide things. So here, in the case of this bowl, which some of you have seen before, I'd used a roulette to make this decorative pattern around it. Okay, well, since I've gone to this trouble and it turned out so well, I don't want to use a glaze that's going to completely cover it up and obliterate it. So that automatically eliminates a few of the glazes. Okay, so that was what I was dealing with at Art Center. So there were some bowls that had some marks, some mugs that had some marks that I wanted, to be seen, and then there were plain ones where it didn't matter. So now at home I'm going to do a group, and there's going to be some of them that are going to be plain glazed, and there are going to be some of them that are going to be like this, which is, shall we say, not plain. Okay, but there's a sequence. Okay, so first you do all the glazing for the ones that are just ones, and you get them out of the way. Then you figure out the sequence, because the sequence matters. It changes the result. So in this case, the sequence is the green and then the red to meet the green, and then the white to create the sage, which is white over green, and this, which is the white over red, and then last the blue, which then gets this sort of purpley thing and this light blue thing. You got to get the sequence. But when you get the sequence, you're also safer, because you're not going back and forth and making messes. You only need one bucket open at a time. Please, only one bucket open at a time, so you don't accidentally pour bucket, glaze A into bucket B, this kind of stuff. But work it out ahead of time. If need to, take notes, write down what you've done so that you can congratulate yourself later or warn yourself off when things don't work. So it just takes a little planning, and the whole thing goes much better with much better results. Good luck.